put some branches on this tree. Most of these pieces I'm going to be using, probably, at least for the larger branches, are going to be pokeweed. And the deal here is I have to get this completely coated back and front because it'll get brittle, and the gel will preserve it and keep it from breaking. The gel, even after it sets up real hard, but it's still flexible. It can be bent, so you can actually bend something without breaking it. Now, that's not always true. If you have something that's kind of light and it's coated with gel, you bend it, it'll break, but it'll stay inside the gel. And so the break might not make any difference. This branch is going to go right in here. And that end is actually tucking beneath this stem. So I don't have to fasten it there, but I do need to fasten it here. And then when that dries, that staple will come out, hopefully. And now I'm going to take a brush, I think. Yeah, again, I wet my brush so that the water stays up here, the paint, the medium will stay down here for the most part, and that makes the brush much easier to clean. Brushes are expensive, and I wear them out quickly, and so I try to take care of them, at least somewhat. With much of my work, when the brush starts to wear out is when it really gets good. So that's well coated front and back now. Now everything, the whole piece, will get painted over by the time it's dry, by the time it's finished. Practically every surface will be touched with paint. Okay, I'm going to make a change. I just put this branch in higher than I want it. Now, by the way, this poke stem here that I used to structure the tree stems is completely filled on the back with gel. There are no places on the back that are not covered, and I used the gel pretty heavily in there to make it sturdy and strong, and that's where the gel goes. I'm going to be able to break this stem mostly. Well, here's a little cutting. I'm collecting things all the time, just anything that catches my eye. Of course, I've been doing this so long that I can very often see things in the yard or in the woods that I know will be useful. And sometimes I just pick them up because they're kind of appealing in one way or another. And so I have baskets and trays and boxes full of stuff here in the studio, so that when I'm working I can very often just go to the shelf and find something that will work for what I want to do. Where the stem meets the tree trunk, the big tree stem, I build that up a little bit with gel to make it look like the natural color that a branch has when it comes out from the tree. And then in the process of finishing it, I'll work on that some more until I make it convince me that it is what it's supposed to be. Now I'm putting this gel on the branches. I'm using the brush to texturize it so that when it gets its finished coat on it, it will appear to have bark on the branch, and the bark will be made of gel. Now I let the ends of things stick over the sides of the format, so that's a particularly vulnerable place for breakage. So I want to put extra gel in there, make that good and thick and strong. We have a big one up here. I pick up something like that and I think that's so beautiful. Why should I change it? Why should I make it? But I'll change it. This piece of material it has a shape, some of which I will have to correct when I put this on. I think that's about the right size right there. Okay, that's going to go there. Okay, staple's not going to hold it, so it's time for a screw. Now again, the screws, if I can get to the heads, if I haven't actually covered the heads up, if I can get to the heads, I'll take the screws out once the gel is good and firm. And if I can't get the screws out, if they stick through the back of the board that I'm painting on, I'll go in there and cut them off with a disc that fits the drill. Now I'm putting this gel on so that it makes a barky texture. Need to build it up down here. There's a rhythm in this design, and these branches are the counter rhythm. These straight ones coming out to the left are the counter rhythm. The main rhythm is this, and even this branch is curving to the right, So you get this kind of circular motion in the composition that pulls the composition together, pulls the eye around, and aids the eye as it travels around the entire composition. But these long straight ones are the counter rhythm. They go boom, 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 while this one is going. I think I'll just put on one more straight one that goes this way. And this is very important to the composition, this one. If you notice how that works, it cuts this slanty rhythm. Okay, we're gonna put this one up there, and I'm gonna actually slip this one through underneath that one. So that's a little tricky. I'm gonna bring this screw back up. Actually, I think yeah, it's loose. Now I want this to stay right where it belongs in the composition, so I'm going to check the photo. That's a little over 2.5 inches. It's about 2 5/8 times 3, so it'd be 6, 7 and an 8, 6, 7 and an 1/8. See, I wouldn't have thought it would be that high, but that's where it belongs. And then it just slants down a little here. Okay, I think that's all the branches we'll do right now. We'll let this gel start to set up a little bit. And we'll go collect some moss from outside and do some foliage.